Hey, good afternoon, y'all. It's Aiden Randleman here. I want to grab your attention for a moment. I got some vital information for you on your road to success. My goal in these videos here is to inspire you and to give you tools and insights to make it easier for you to be the person who you are meant to become. I value my time, I value your time, so I'm going to jump right into it. Today's lesson is about getting your heart and your mind focused on your big goal, right, and using your drum major instinct effectively so that your obstacles can either become obsolete or they can even become opportunities. Now, the most recent speaker we have on the drum major instinct is Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. In his 1968 speech, which I recommend that you listen to. You can find it on YouTube. But before we get into that speech and the lesson inside of it, I want to share with you where the idea of the drum major instinct came about and how important it is to your success. So in order to get to its root, we're going to look at chapters 9 and 10 in the book of Mark. And at the end of chapter 9, John, one of the disciples, he was on the road to a city called Capernaum. And on this road, he finds a man that was rebuking demons and doing the work that the disciples, they were doing, right? And so he says, no, you shouldn't do it. Only disciples are allowed to do this type of work. And he tells Jesus about this. And Jesus, the teacher, he actually responds by saying, no, you shouldn't have done that. You shouldn't have stopped him because he is not against us. He is actually on our side. And that those that do the work will be the ones that will be rewarded. So the lesson continues in chapter 10 when James and John, both disciples, they asked Jesus that in the next life if they could be on the left and the right hand sides of the throne. And Jesus asks, number one, if they can drink from the cup that he drinketh from, and if they can be baptized in the way that which he will become baptized. And he goes on saying that whoever wants to become great among you must be your servant, and whoever wants to be first must be the servant of them all. So going to Dr. King's speech, he makes it plain, he makes it clear, and he actually defines the drum major instinct. And it's our human need, right, to feel significant, to feel valued, to feel important. And in the 50s, they believed that Sigmund Freud actually taught and believed that it was our sexual needs, our sexual desire, that was the force on why we did what we do. A couple years later, Alfred Adler actually discovered that it was the human need to be significant first, the drum major instinct, that drove most of our actions and motivations. So he goes on to say in Dr. King's speech, he says, this drum major instinct is why folks live above their means, why they buy houses and cars and products that they can't really afford, why people believe that crime, right, robberies, forgeries, even murder, different things like that was their way to get ahead, to feel important. And he even alluded to that's why segregation was even allowed to exist. So what he teaches is that instead of using your drum major instinct for selfish reasons, that we should be a drum major for justice, for equality, and for the moral good. So if you take those lessons and you look at the book of Mark, instead of using our drum major instinct, right, to gain significance in titles, in positions, right, we should be using our instinct to feel significant and that we're doing good work for the betterment of the world around us. And what I wanted to do is I wanted to create an image to help us better understand it. Okay? So this is the world around us, right? Here is you. Here's your family. Here's your community, the country, and the world. Okay? So in order to clarify, right, just because when you do things for the drum major instinct for yourself, it may very, very well be a detriment to your family, to your community, and the outside rings around it. Okay, so this is where we'll use Dr. King's example of using crime, right? When you use for yourself, you're gonna not do very good things for the world, like robberies, murder, frauds, different things like that, just because you're trying to find significance just for yourself. You're going to betray your family. You're going to probably commit adultery, probably not take care of your kids very well, just to satisfy your own urges for yourself. So if you use the drum major instinct just for your family, right, it sounds like a good thing. However, if we look through history, right, we look at the different monarchies and different dictatorships. I like to use the Romanovs in Russia during the Russian Revolution as an example, and then Marie Antoinette and King Louis XIV as examples as well during the French Revolution. So their families, they ate the best food, ate the best clothes, had the best lives. However, over time, their community and their country and even the world resented those people, right? And so we know what happened to them. They were murdered, and those revolutions happened. because they were only using their drum major instinct for these 2 rings, right? And so when we go into the community, right, this is where Dr. King really emphasized just using your drum major instinct for your community, what he saw as different races, different sects of people, and that as long as they felt superior, right, it was never going to become a better place. And we see the changes that are made now. So going on, the point here is what you want to do is you want to use your drum major instinct, right, to become significant to the world, become an influence on the world, and do better things for the world. Then what's going to happen is they're going to realize that over time, and the world will reward you, your country will reward you, your community, your family, and even yourself will be rewarded. And those rewards will go greater and greater and greater. And this is why it's important when you're thinking about success and on the road to success that you think about how can we be important to the world? How can we be significant to the world? Because that's going to increase your chances of success, the world's chances of success, and those rewards, right, are going to start flowing in. So I appreciate your time. Listen to that speech by Dr. King. It's very powerful, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you.